Welcome to Matlab lectures by Civil Thinking, and in this class we are going to see the Matlab interface and some basic commands and how to move around in the Matlab. Okay, so before I move on, I suggest you to please watch the video lectures on Matlab one by one as in the playlist so that you understand better. The playlist link is in the description, or also you can click on the pop-up on your screen. Now coming to the today's class. Now in this class we are going to see, as I mentioned, the overall interface and some basic commands. Okay, now as you can see, when you open Matlab, okay, the default view is this. Okay, you will have three windows on your display. Okay, the first window, it is the command window. Here you can type the commands, okay, like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, or you can define the variables, okay, or everything. Okay, you can execute the commands, okay, in this command. Okay, and then we have another window is current folder. Okay, here you will see the folder which is present. Okay, here you can like you can set a folder, okay, where all your Matlab project files are saved. Okay, so you can keep that folder here, okay, because you might have multiple files of your project, so they will be accessible and displayed here. Okay, now the other window is Workspace. Okay, this one is Workspace. So when you define some variables, okay, so all the variables, okay, will be listed in this. Okay, now also you can resize this, okay, based on your what you like, okay, based on your preference, okay, like this. Okay, or also you can like move them around. Okay, so if you go to layout, okay, so if you click on 3 column, so you will have folder, command window and workspace, okay, here in the column. Okay, so if you click on layout, command windows only, you will have only the command window. Okay, so I personally like the first one, the default one. Okay, so if you like the otherwise, you can set the layout. Okay, now so this was the overall about the view of the Matlab. Okay, right now I am using the latest version of Matlab, okay, which is Matlab R 2024B. Okay, so this is it. Okay, now let us talk about some commands. Now in the command window you can type, okay, commands. Okay, like for example, if I type 1 plus 1, when you press enter, it will give the answer of 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Okay, now what is this ans equal to? Now ans is it is a variable. When you don't define a variable, okay, when you carry out an operation, okay, like 1 plus 1, okay, so the result is saved automatically by Matlab in a variable called ans. Okay, now if you want to see the value of ans, you will just write the variable name, okay, and press enter, so it will give you the value of 2. Okay, now ans is, okay, it is automatically, the 2 is automatically assigned by Matlab. Okay, now you can also assign the values to the variable, like for example, let us say I want to define a variable a, okay, and it is value is 1. Okay, so I will write a equal to 1. So here it is, a is equal to 1. Okay, now it is again showing when I type like b is equal to 2. Now it is again echoing back the value. Okay, now if you don't want the the echo, so you can type a semicolon at the end. Okay, for example, c equal to 4, but right now I will use a semicolon. Okay, so it has defined the variable c equal to 4. Okay, as you can see in the workspace, we have this c variable and its value is 4. Okay, but it didn't echo. Right now, if I want to clear the screen, okay, I will write clc and press enter. Okay, so it will clear the screen. Okay, but the variables are still here. Okay, so if I write here for example a and press enter, you will see a is 1. Okay, so if I write ans is 2. Okay, why? Because the variables are already created and they are not cleared yet. Okay, so if you want to delete the variables, okay, you can simply type clear or clear all. Okay, so it will delete all the variables. Okay, now but if you want to delete a specific variable, for example, I want to delete the a variable. Okay, so I will write clear a, and when I press enter, you will see the a will disappear from the workspace. Okay, so let me press enter. So here it is, a is no more. Okay, now if I want to clear all the variables, as I have told you, I will write clear. Okay, so it will altogether clear all the variables. Okay, now when I type a again, you will see it is an unrecognized function. Okay, initially when I type a, it showed me the value. Okay, a is equal to 1, but right now when I deleted all the variables and I ask for a again, and it said unrecognized function or variable. Okay, because I have deleted this variable. Okay, now you can use multiple operations, like for example, if I say a is equal to 2, 3, okay, and I will use a semicolon so that it doesn't echo back, and I will type b equal to again 5. Okay, now if I type a times b, okay, now a times b is a multiplied by b. Okay, so it is going to be, it should be 5 times 3, okay, or 3 times 5, which is 15. Okay, so it is 15. Now it showed ans equal to 15. Why? Because a times b, the result 5 times 3 is 15, right? But 15 is not stored anywhere, right? So it has MATLAB created a variable ans, okay, to store this, the result of our operation. Okay, because we created we executed the operation a times b. Okay, so the result was not, okay, if I had typed like this, d equal to a plus b. Okay, now what it is going to do, it is going to add two variables a plus b, so 5 plus 3 is 8, right? Now 8 is the result of a plus b. Okay, and it is going to be stored in d variable. Okay, so when I press enter, so it is going to be d is equal to 8. Okay, so these are the operations. Now there are other operations too, like the log. For example, you can find the log of a number, log of a. Okay, a was 3, so log of a is this. Also you can find the exponential, exp. Okay, exp of exponential of a. Okay, now you can also type the trigonometric functions like sine, cos, tan. Okay, sine a, it is going to be the value like this. Okay, now similarly cos a, okay, it is going to store the value. Similarly we have other functions, and I have listed them here. You can see these are our variable operations. Okay, you can use plus, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, or also you can use logarithm or exponential, or also you can use power, like 2 to power 4 or 8 power b. Okay, now this is sqrt, it is the square root. Okay, square root of a variable, okay, or a number. Similarly we have sine, cos, tan, and we have arc sine, arc cos, arc tan, or we also call them inverse sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse. Similarly we have other the other functions like rem, round, seal, and floor. Okay, now we also have variables like pi. We know the value of pi is 3.14. okay, now eps, machine precision. Okay, we will come to it. Now I is imaginary unit. Okay, for example, when we talk about complex numbers, I is the imaginary. Now inf means infinity, nan means not a number. Okay, so when something is undefined, which is undefined number, okay, so it will show not a number. Okay, now ans is, as I have told you, it is a variable which stores what, the unspecified values. Okay, and okay, so it is the last element of array. Okay, when you write down the array, so if you type and of, and then you will write in bracket of array name, it will fetch the last element of that array. Okay, now real max is the largest number from a series, okay, or in a matrix or in a range. Okay, then we have int max, it is the largest integer. Okay, we will go through each and everything. Okay, but this was just an introduction. Okay, so now it was about the numbers. Similarly we can create matrix. Okay, matrix, for example, now matrix are created like the rows are created with the help of what, semicolon, and the columns are created with the help of a comma. Okay, now let me type, for example, this. Okay, f is equal to one comma 2 3 comma 5 comma minus 4. Okay, so when I hit the enter, so f is now what? It is a row matrix, okay, or row vector which have the values of 1 3 5 and minus 4. Okay, now if I want to create a column matrix, okay, I will use what? S semicolon. Okay, for example, G, I will store the matrix in G variable. G is equal to, I will use 1 semicolon 2 3 semicolon 5 semicolon, for example, 6. Okay, now it is going to create a column matrix. Okay, 1 3 5 6. Okay, now if I want to create a matrix with both rows and columns, so what I am going to do, I am going to use a variable h is equal to, okay, then the the matrix, these braces, then I will draw the first row for like 1 comma 2 comma 4, then I will use semicolon for what? For the another row 3 comma 5 comma 7. Okay, this is the second row. Then in order to draw the third, for example, third row, I will use semicolon again. So 4 comma minus 4 and minus 9. Okay, minus 9. Okay, so when I hit the enter, you will see now 1 3 and 4, because comma is used to to write the elements of each row, so comma. Okay, so 1 3 4, it is the first row, right? Then we have, then there is a semicolon. Semicolon means the next row. Okay, so next row is this 3 5 7, as you can see, 3 5 7. Then after that 3 5 7, we have next row is here 4 minus 4 minus 9, 4 minus 4 minus 9. Okay, so this is our matrix. Okay, now we can also this was our, we use this comma here to create a row matrix, okay, or a row vector. Now we can also use a space. Okay, for example, we write 1 comma 3 comma 5 comma minus 4. We can also write 1 space 3 space 5 space 4 minus 4, and it is going to give us the same result. Okay, so if I define another variable by the name of k, okay, then I use these matrix braces, then keep eyes on this. I will use the same numbers, but I will use space instead of a comma. Okay, so 1 space 3 space 5 space minus 4. Okay, so here it is 1 3 minus 1 3 5 minus 4 1 3 5 minus 4. Okay, so similarly I can execute the matrix operations, like for example, let me call it t variable. T is equal to g times h. Okay, so I want to multiply g matrix and h matrix. Okay, so it will be stored in t. So when I hit enter, it is not going to give the product, because the condition for the multiplication of product is what? The number of number of rows in first should be equal to number of columns in second, but that is not the case here. Okay, so if I multiply f and g, okay, so if I write k is equal to g times f and press enter, you will see k is equal to g times b, and this k is the product of g matrix and f matrix. Okay, so in this way we can do the simple operations. Okay, now when it comes to the, I have already told you about what? The clear command. Okay, so if I type clc, clear screen, it will clear the command window, but remember clc is not going to delete the variables. Okay, although you get a blank command window, but it does not mean there are no variables. Okay, of course we have variables still present. Okay, and they are in the workspace. Okay, so I will delete the variables. How? I will type clear and space all, or we don't even need the all, but if you use clear all, it will do the same thing. Okay, so here you can see all the variables are deleted from our workspace. Okay, now besides this, now what is this current folder? Let me talk about this. Now when you want to create a file, okay, now if I open this in the Explorer, you can see here this is our new folder. Okay, now if I create a file here, for example, if I create a text file here, okay, and you will see here we have a text file here. Okay, now if I delete this text file, you will see it will disappear from here. Okay, now if I have multiple projects here, okay, so if I want to create a file in this, okay, for example, you know, the Matlab, we have Matlab codes, we have scripts in Matlab. Okay, scripts are like, you know, for example, to carry out a specific program. When you write a program in the Matlab, okay, and you put it in a file, you know, in a script to execute it, okay, somewhere, or okay, so if you want to create a file in this, you can type here, for example, you can write edit space and you will write the file name. Okay, and you will write then .m. okay, .m means Matlab. Okay, so it will create the .m will create the Matlab script file. Okay, now it is saying it does not exist. When you press yes, you will see the file name .m is here. Okay, so if I open this, you will see this has been created file name. Okay, now in this, now here you can see this file name .m. you can write, for example, you know, 3 times 4. Okay, and you press Ctrl S to save. Okay, I just write 3 times 4, and how much is 3 times 4? It is 12. Okay, so what do I do now? When I call this file, okay, I will just write the file name. Okay, for example, I will write here file name. Why? Because file name .m, it is the file name is file name. Okay, so I press enter. It will execute what it will do when I call a file. It will execute it. Okay, so it is going to execute all the functions. Okay, so when I press enter, so it is going to give me a variable, okay, ans with value 12. Okay, why? If you can see here, now let me show you. If I type edit, okay, then file name, now it will open the file name. So why it was 12? Why it is 12? Because 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so when I type in the command window, this is now command window has shifted to the down. Okay, so we have our file this because we open it. Okay, so when we type the file name, it executes that file. Okay, similarly, what you can do, you can also delete. Okay, if you type delete file name, but you have to use the extension also. Okay, you have to use, for example, .m. It is very important. Okay, if you did not use, it will show the error, as I will show you. See, file name does not exist. Okay, so now if you can type, now when you press the arrow key, up arrow key, okay, it will show you the command history. Okay, then you will type .m. you can see the file name .m has disappeared, and if you see here, there is no file name. Okay, now if I create a new file here, for example, text document, for example, I will name it as file1. Okay, now I am not going to delete it here. I am going to delete it from the command window. Okay, so I will write delete file1. If I didn't type the extension name .txt, it is going to show me the error. Okay, as you can see. So but if I write delete file1 .txt, it will delete. Okay, so give it some time. Okay, it has disappeared, and when you see here, when you refresh, the file is no more. Okay, now remember I told you the arrow, the top arrow. Okay, it is going to show you the history of commands. Okay, so you can easily access your previous commands. Okay, because sometimes you might write, you know, like a long command. Okay, then what is going to happen, you don't want to type it again. Okay, one by one you are not going to type it, because okay, that will be complex. So what you will press the top arrow, okay, it will show you the commands. Okay, you can like select with the help of top arrow and bottom arrow, up arrow and down key. Okay, and whichever you want you can press it. Okay, for example, if you want to execute this edit file name, you can press enter and here it is. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything for today's class, because this was just an introduction. Okay, so if you have any doubts you can comment or you can also contact me. So see you in the next class. Thank you.